The line at the county assistant's office wrapped around the building. People stood with coffee cups, folders tucked under their arms, phones in hand. A digital sign above the door flickered. System delayed. Groans rippled through the crowd. Near the middle of the line stood a woman named Sarah Mitchell. She wore a plain jacket, faded jeans, and sneakers that had seen better days. One arm cradled a worn tote bag stuffed with paperwork. With her other hand, she held onto her 6-year-old daughter, Emma, who leaned against her leg, bored and sleepy. Sarah hadn't spoken since arriving. She just waited. Behind her, conversation buzzed. Ahead of her, 3 women in designer coats shifted impatiently. "This is ridiculous," one muttered. "I've got meetings." Another glanced back at Sarah and smirked figures. These places are always full of people who don't even try to help themselves. The third laughed softly. "Yeah, living off the system. Probably." Sarah heard every word. Emma looked up at her mother. "Mommy, why are they mad?" "They're just tired, sweetheart," Sarah said quietly, offering a small smile. The line moved forward a few inches. As Sarah stepped up, her toe brushed the heel of the woman in front. "Seriously?" The woman snapped. "Can you watch where you're going?" "I'm sorry," Sarah said, stepping back. The woman looked her up and down. "Umbeli, bable. Some people have no manners." No one intervened. Sarah stayed silent. She had learned that explaining yourself to strangers rarely changed anything. What they didn't know was that Sarah hadn't always stood in lines like this. Years earlier, she had stood on airfields, holding her husband's hand before deployments. She packed duffel bags at midnight and kissed him goodbye under yellow porch lights. Her husband, Staff Sergeant Daniel Mitchell, had served 12 years in the U.S. Army. 2 tours overseas, countless nights away, and one flag-folded afternoon that changed everything. The line stalled again. "This is taking forever," one of the women complained. "They should prioritize people who actually contribute." Sarah's fingers tightened on her paperwork. She remembered the phone call, the uniforms standing on her porch, faces tight with practiced sympathy. She remembered how the world went quiet when they spoke Daniel's name. She remembered becoming strong because she had no other choice. A security guard suddenly opened the office door. "Attention, please," he called. "We're resuming processing." At that moment, 2 men in army dress uniforms walked into the lobby. Their presence changed the air instantly. Conversations dropped. Phones lowered. The soldiers weren't there for assistance. They carried a sealed envelope and scanned the room until their eyes landed on Sarah. He stopped. Then, in one smooth motion, both men stood at attention and saluted. The sound of their hands snapping to their brows cut through the noise like a blade. Every head turned. Sarah froze. One of the soldiers spoke, his voice calm but firm. "Mrs. Mitchell, we were instructed to deliver these documents to you personally." The room fell silent. The women who had mocked her stared, mouths slightly open. The soldier continued, "On behalf of the United States Army, thank you for your family's service and sacrifice." Sarah swallowed hard and nodded. "Thank you." Emma looked up at her mother, eyes wide. "Mommy, why are they saluting you?" Sarah knelt down. "They're honoring Daddy," she whispered. The realization hit the room like a wave. The whispers, the insults, the judgment, all gone. One of the women who had complained looked down at her shoes, face flushed with shame. The soldiers handed Sarah the envelope benefit confirmations that had been delayed for months and stepped aside. As Sarah moved forward in line, people made space for her without a word. No one rushed her. No one looked down on her now. At the counter, the clerk stood up. "Ma'am," she said softly, "we'll take care of everything today." Sarah nodded, her voice steady. "I appreciate that." As she walked out minutes later, sunlight spilled across the steps. Behind them, the line remained, but something had changed, because everyone there had just learned a lesson. You never know the battles someone has fought. You never know the sacrifices hidden behind quiet strength, and respect should never be based on appearances. Some heroes don't wear uniforms anymore, but their courage still stands at attention. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please share it and subscribe for more content that inspires.